He's still David. And then we also got a friend of mine. I'm not going to say a good buddy of mine because that would be confusing, because we have Dr. Chad Woolner and Dr. Buddy Allen. And really, I've known Chad for a long time. We got many year history, but we're on this because Chad called me up a while back and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing with some other doctors. I think it'd be really great for you guys, and your group would probably care a lot about it." And I said, "Well, let's run it by this guy over here, David, because David is our main exercise therapist, personal trainer. He's working with other patients. So we're figuring out protocols on how to get this running in our clinic. And this Thursday, Dr. Chad and Dr. Buddy are going to do a webinar on it. And what is it, a 30-minute webinar?
Yeah. It's
okay.
Brief.
Okay, so it's like a 30-minute webinar. It gives you everything you need to know about it. And ironically, we have a couple doctors that are part of Move Now University or are just friends of ours that have already jumped on this and started doing it in their clinics as well. And really, I just wanted to bring on Chad and Buddy and let them talk about it and why you should care about it and what it is and why it caught my attention. And then I'll try to touch on how we're going to implement this into the 12-week transformation, which is a online membership site, 12-week process that all of our patients go through when they go through corrective care. And I think this is a great supplement to the patients that could benefit from it in like a gateway transition into healthier eating and fitness. So with that said, take it away.
Thanks, buddy. Well, not this buddy. This buddy. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it. No, this is really exciting for us to be able to share this with docs, because I feel like this is something just based off of what I have seen firsthand with the response in sharing this with docs. This is something docs have been wanting for a very, very long time. Just in total transparency, we let docs know, like, this funnel that we've been sending docs to, which we'll put in the link, this has been my highest converting funnel. And that tells us something loud and clear, that docs are looking for better solutions when it comes to helping patients lose weight. And what makes this program, there are several things that make this program powerful, and I'll let Buddy kind of chime in here in a second. But the problem that we find with a lot of different weight loss strategies and programs that docs will bring into their clinic is that, compliance is always important. If compliance is low, it really doesn't matter what program you're offering. If it's a great program, doesn't matter if the patient isn't going to follow the program, right? So compliance is critical, number one. Number two, simplicity and ease of the doctor and their team being able to provide this into their clinic with minimal disruption is important too. You don't want to hassle with having to deal with all sorts of inventory management issues. You don't want to hassle with big, long-winded explanations. You don't want to hassle with having to create these detailed, complex meal plans for your patients. And then on top of that, the other powerful thing about this program is it provides a completely different revenue strategy for docs than the typical approaches. Most typical approaches when it comes to nutrition and or weight loss is you present a program, here's the bottom line, here's the fee, it's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever we net of that $2,500 or $3,000 or whatever. You get 10 sales in the month or 20 sales, 20 patients signing up on the program. You make 20 or 30K or 40 or 50K or whatever. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But that's when you do good. That's a good month. And not only that, but then the other issues that are coming out now as a result of the chaos and craziness is, how do you do this virtually? Can you do this virtually? And so the program that we're going to be sharing and teaching docs on this Thursday webinar handles all those things. Compliance is super simple. It's goof-proof. It provides the docs with a very turnkey system that they don't have to have massive disruptions in their practice. And their team can run with it really simply, as you guys are doing. It's very easy to follow. Compliance is crazy high because of how easy it is. And then also on top of it, what it does is the revenue model is a recurring revenue model. And so what's nice about this is it creates immense stability when you start just getting a handful of your patients involved in the program. So
absolutely. The program is fantastic just because of the fact that we want patients to be way up here with their health, but unfortunately, I don't know that the camera's not going to go low enough to where people are coming into our office, right? Yeah, get that way down. So the reality is we're trying to meet them in a place. It's like trying to say, hey, join us for a marathon next week, and someone hasn't put on tennis shoes in 10 years. Yeah. So this is something simple enough that fits in with what they already know, that will bridge a gap between here and where we want them to be up here. Yeah. And it's just the simple, like Dr. Woolner was saying, it's so simple. It just makes it almost goof-proof, completely goof-proof, both for the clinic side of things as well as for the patient side. And then when patients see the success, they're like, the scale's moving the right direction. They're like, well, that wasn't so hard. All of a sudden, now you have these teachable moments to where you can actually start helping to train them and to change how they think in their mind, and to really get them to start thinking more about this big picture up here that we want them to see. And that starts to come more into focus for them. So,
well, and a very good example for the docs in your program, Todd, is do you start your patients off with your black belt level functional movement stuff?
No, we don't. We start them at white belt.
Right. Why do we start them at the white belt? Because they're not ready for the black belt, right? There's a progression, and it's no different with weight loss, right? The problem, showing the belt levels there.
On our wall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's the genius that you've put together with that, and that's the reason why this program that we're going to be sharing on Thursday is so powerful. Is it's the same kind of concept. It provides them with a very simple entry point that then we can kind of build upon and ascend them to where ultimately they want to get to. I understand that with just about every chiropractor out there, especially ones that are really heavy into nutrition and functional medicine and all that stuff, they want their patients on a gluten-free, low carbohydrate, whole food, diet where they're eating real good, healthy food, regularly preparing their own meals and all that stuff. But the problem of the matter is that the vast majority of patients that we're seeing in our clinics, especially those who need our help, are doing the McDonald's three times a day, meal. Their fast food is just too convenient, it's too easy, and it's too heavily ingrained in terms of their habits. And it's a lot like kind of taking an animal from the zoo and putting them out into the wild. It's just not going to do. And so that's one of the things that we found so powerful about this program that we're going to be introducing and sharing for docs is that you really will be able to help a lot more patients at a much higher level using this program than you would without it.
Yep.
And that's the exciting part about it. And it dovetails beautifully into the 12-week transformation, because what it's going to do is it's going to make it a lot easier for docs to get patients very clear objective results with this in terms of their weight loss, in terms of weight that is lost, body fat percentage that is reduced, and then ultimately all the other benefits that come along with that, reduced inflammation, less pain, greater mobility and function, greater levels of energy, all that stuff that you guys are doing in the 12-week transformation. It's just going to complement and dovetail beautifully. So back to you.
Yeah, so I was going to say there's a comment from Dr. Christian Rosevere. He said he watched last week's webinar, intriguing program. So he was digging it, and Dr. Christian has been part of Move Now University way back in the day. He's got the belt system. He does all the functional movement stuff. That does all of that. And I think what really intrigued me about it is just what you're saying is that, like for us in our practice, our sample size might be a little different than most practices, but we have a pretty healthy base of patients to begin with. However, even the ones that are like quote unquote healthy that are still overweight and they want to lose 20 or 30 pounds, I could see how mentally this could really help them start the process. Then it doesn't take a whole lot more to say, now I want to do a group training with David, start getting into fitness now with it, and then eventually transition to have healthier habits with their food. And this is like how I'm thinking about this is like kind of like, and hear me out on this analogy, you're going to love this. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you are a heroin dealer and you're wanting to get a lot of people hooked on smack. Is it smack? Is that what you call it?
That is the precise terminology.
Is that heroin, buddy? Is that what's called smack? Okay. And you know, what's going on is you got a bunch of kids that have been, you know, programmed to just say no, and you're like, well, just try some Mary Jane. And then they're like, oh, I like this. And then before you know it, no, I'm just joking. Okay. So anyway, I'm flipping the whole analogy and making it a negative thing.
It's like from healthy to really unhealthy very quickly.
I don't know if you've seen
I was saying that because this is like a gateway, you know, like I was thinking the whole analogy of like a gateway drug. But this is a gateway to becoming healthier and having healthier habits. And people I think are gonna, I mean, it's something that's so powerful with functional movement is that when someone feels and they move differently, like they feel it, and that reinforces why they're getting adjusted, why they're doing traction, why they're doing all these other components in our clinic. But movement is the whole place where they're measuring. That's like the whole measuring stick as far, okay. But I feel like weight loss is the thing where someone looks in the mirror and they see it, and that's what they have to show for. Here's why I'm exercising. Here's why I'm eating healthy. Here's why I'm doing all of these things that maybe we don't want to do initially. And so if you can get someone seeing some of those benefits quicker, and then they can start to fill in some of the back end afterwards, like transition to healthier foods and all the other habits, I think that's a really good way to appeal to people that otherwise are just going to be stuck in that rut forever.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting, Todd, because you and I have had this conversation years and years ago, and we've had it numerous times over and over and over again. Unfortunately, the profession is stuck in a rut for whatever reason, and I don't know why, but you cannot sell wellness in the form of prevention, and yet docs do it all the time. That's what they want to do, is they want to sell
flood insurance.
What's that?
Like selling flood insurance.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But you can, and this is what you developed based off of, I mean, I don't want to say I was the inspiration behind the 12-week transformation, but I remember distinctly us having the conversation that you can sell wellness if you sell it through the lens of transformation. That's what people are after, because
technically, you helped me make the logo. You remember that?
That is true. That is true.
You did help me make the 12-week transformation logo. So believe me, I give you credit for the fact that I was the like documented third chiropractor in the world to use ClickFunnels.
That's right, man.
Okay.
Number three.
Got that up on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys join us on this webinar. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to learn a lot. And hopefully you guys are going to jump on board with Dr. Todd here, because he's going to help change a lot more people's lives. You guys will too. And he's going to make a lot more money as a result of it, which is really
cool thing. And a cool thing with having David here is that David and I are putting a lot of these systems and stuff together. So how we're looking at this, and the first way that we approached it, we said, okay, how can this integrate with what we're doing? Is there a way to make it congruent with what we're doing? And so we're going through and talking through how we're going to present this. Well, in the process of doing that, I'm sure we'll make some tangible things inside the 12-week transformation that other Move Now chiropractors that are using the 12-week transformation can then piggyback, and we can give them those assets.
Yep.
And we have other doctors that are not part of Move Now that are watching this, so that this might be the first thing that they're doing. And I'm hoping that it gets them more encouraged to get into more exercise with their patients. It's a gateway. It's a gateway. Yeah. Start them off with the Mary Jane, get them on the smack. Yeah. Got it. You guys should think about running those Facebook ads. I think I'm onto something.
I like that. I like that idea.
Probably not. All right. I shouldn't have gone. All right. It's probably not going to take this off, right? Should probably delete it. Delete this. Okay. Okay. Record.
simpleweightloss.com/opportunity. Join us Thursday. It's going to be amazing. So.
Cool. So and then the last comment from Christian, he said, all the cool Move Well kids are doing it. That's right, Christian. We
jump on in, man.
Know that you and I, Christian, we're part of the cool kids. So everyone else wants to be cool like us. Come on over, check out the webinar on Thursday. And a little backstory on that. Dr. Chad and I went off-roading this weekend and pulled over on top of the mountain and had some good talk about all this stuff.
We did. We shared magic moments together.
It was good. Beautiful scenery overlooking the Eagle and Treasure Valley area.
Pretty
All right,
majestic. I'm not gonna lie.
It was good. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for jumping on, and thanks for making this available to our group. I do appreciate it. Thanks for thinking of us and thinking of me when you're going through and exposing other doctors to this. And I think it's a good fit for our group. And yeah, so sounds good.
Awesome.
Thanks, Todd.
Cool.
Great day.
And thanks, David.
No problem.
Thanks, David.
David.
I'm not.
That's right. All right, cool. Over and out. See you guys.
All right. See ya.